Hello friends. You are watching 3AZ Vision, an innovative distance learning channel. It is important to inform that in PPRA Rules Part 4, we shall discuss about the procurement of individual and firm of consultants and its allied rules. Therefore, it is desired that subscribe our channel, and click on bell icon, that you may not miss any video, to improve your knowledge. In PPRA Rules Part 4, we shall discuss in details about procurement of consultancy services, methods for selection of consultants, selection process of individual consultant, selection process of firm of consultants, evaluation criteria of consultants, association of consultants, intellectual property rights, negotiations, professional liability of consultant, acceptance of bids and award of contracts, limitation on negotiations and confidentiality, procurement of consultancy services, rights and obligations. The rights and obligations of the procuring agency and the consultant are governed by general and special conditions of contract signed between the procuring agency and the consultant. Consultant Selection Committee. Every procuring agency, for the selection of consultant, except for short consultancies, shall set up a consultant selection committee of odd number members, which shall consist of head of the procuring agency who shall be its chairperson, a nominee of the Planning and Development Department, a nominee of the Finance Department, as members, a representative of the procuring agency, as a member, secretary, and the procuring agency may co-opt up to 2 members, having adequate technical knowledge and experience in the relevant field, for assistance in a given assignment that requires technical input. Quorum. 3 members, including the chairman of the Consultant Selection Committee, shall form quorum, for conducting the business of the Consultant Selection Committee. Decision by simple majority. All decision of the Consultant Selection Committee shall be made by majority of the members present and voting. Functions and responsibilities of committee. The Consultant Selection Committee shall perform the following functions: short listing of consultants, responding to the expression of interest, where applicable, in accordance with the criteria mentioned in the expression of interest. Approval of request for proposal before issuance. Evaluation of technical and financial proposals, according to the selection method and evaluation criteria mentioned in the request for proposal, and in accordance with the provisions of these rules, and finalization of recommendation for selection of consultants based on evaluation criteria. Selection of consultants. Depending upon the selection method, the procuring agency shall include, among others, the following steps in the process of selection of a consultant: preparation and approval of the terms of reference of the assignment, preparation of the cost estimate or budget of the assignment, public advertisement of invitation of consultants, expressions of interest and their short listing, preparation and issuance of the request for proposal to the short-listed consultants, preparation and submission of proposals by the consultants, evaluation of technical proposals, and opening and evaluation of financial proposals. Methods for selection of consultants. A procuring agency may utilize one of the methods mentioned in succeeding sub-rules for selection of a consultant. Least cost selection. This is the preferred method for selecting consultants for assignments of standard or routine nature such as audit, simple engineering design, or supervision of non-complex works, where the well-established practices and standards exist. Quality and cost-based selection. This method may be used where quality is the prime consideration while cost is a secondary consideration. Terms of reference are well defined. The financial proposals of only those technically responsive bidders who obtained minimum 65% marks shall be opened. A combined evaluation of the technical and financial proposals is carried out by weighting and adding the quality and the cost scores. The weight for quality is normally of 80%, with 20% given to cost, and more than 20% weight to the cost of the services, is justified only in relatively routine and straightforward assignments, such as design of simple structures, whereas in no cases, it should exceed 30%, and the consultant obtaining the highest combined score is invited for negotiations. Quality-based selection. This system may be used for highly specialized, innovative and complex assignments, where quality is the predominant factor. Direct contracting. A procuring agency may, in a complex project, engage, through direct contracting, an organization owned or controlled by the government, the federal government or any other provincial government with the prior approval of Provincial Development Working Party, PDWP, of Planning and Development Department, in case of the administrative departments, or attached departments, or agencies of the government, and PDWP, and the governing body, by whatever name called, in case of an autonomous body, company, authority, or institution. In case of engagement of an organization, the procuring agency shall record reasons in writing for direct contracting, and shall issue a certificate of reasonability, of the negotiated price of consultancy, based on the principles of procurement contained and obtain approval of the authority, to the extent of declaring the project, as complex project. And a procuring agency may, after recording reason in writing, use any method for selection of consultant, other than least cost selection. Selection process of individual consultant. The following shall be the selection process of individual consultant in a short consultancy. Individual consultant may not be required to submit proposals, and shall be selected based on the qualifications and experience for the assignment. Individual consultant shall be selected by comparing the qualifications and experience of at least 3 consultants, among those who have expressed interest in the assignment, or have been approached directly by the procuring agency. Individual consultant considered, for the comparison of qualifications and experience, shall meet the minimum relevant qualifications, and the one selected to be employed by the procuring agency, shall be the best qualified and shall be fully capable of carrying out the assignment. Individual consultant may be selected on a single source basis, with due justification, in exceptional cases, such as an emergency situation resulting from a natural disaster, or where the individual is the only consultant qualified for the assignment. For key assignments, interviews may be set up, if required. Selection process of firm of consultants. The following shall be the selection process of a firm of consultants, in a short consultancy for purposes such as third-party validation, bid evaluation, terms of reference, preparation of documents, relating to pre-qualification and request for proposal, pre-shipment inspection, audit, simple engineering design or supervision of non-complex work, where the cost of consultancy does not exceed 3 million rupees. The firm shall be selected by considering at least 3 quotations from renowned, registered and well-reputed firms, on the basis of qualification and experience for the assignment. The firm considered for the comparison of qualification and experience shall meet the minimum relevant qualification, and the one selected to be employed by the procuring agency shall be the best qualified and fully capable of carrying out assignment, and the procuring agency may conduct interviews for the selection of best option. Expression of interest, EOI. A request for expression of interest shall be advertised in accordance with the provisions of these rules. The expression of interest shall contain the following information: the name and address of procuring agency, an appropriate description of the assignment providing scope of the intellectual and professional services required, closing date and place of the submission of the expression of interest, criteria for shortlisting or pre-qualification where required, and any other information that the procuring agency may deem appropriate to disseminate at this stage. Request for proposals, RFP. Number 1. A procuring agency shall use a request for proposal for seeking proposals from the shortlisted or pre-qualified consultants, which shall include the following. Letter of invitation. The letter of invitation shall mention the name and address of the procuring agency, and its intention to enter into a contract for provision of consulting services, and contain names of all the short-listed firms. Instruction to consultants. The instructions to consultants shall contain all necessary information that may help them prepare responsive proposals. Terms of reference. The terms of reference shall unambiguously define the objectives, goals, and scope of the assignment, core team of required experts, expected deliverables with timelines, and list of services necessary to carry out the assignment. Evaluation criteria. Except as otherwise provided, the evaluation of proposals shall be carried out giving due consideration to quality and cost. Type of contract. A procuring agency, depending on the circumstances, may use one of the following types of contracts. Lump sum contract shall be used mainly for assignments in which the content, duration of the services and the required output are unambiguously defined. Time-based contract shall be used when it is difficult to define the scope and the length of services. Hourly or daily rates shall be used for small projects, especially when the assignment is for less than a month, and any other, based on combination of the above and including out-of-pocket expenses, where required. Special provisions. A procuring agency may specify any other requirement related to the assignment or contract, where required. Number 2. A procuring agency shall invite the prospective consultants to submit their technical and financial proposals in separately sealed envelopes, and the procuring agency shall give deadline for submission of proposals, but the consultants shall be given adequate time to prepare their proposals, which shall not be less than 2 weeks. Evaluation of quality of consulting services. Evaluation criteria for technical evaluation of consultants shall include the following. Experience. The consultant's specialized skills, working on the similar assignment, and access to particular technologies related to the assignment. Financial capability. Financial capability of the consultant may be evaluated with a view to ensuring that the consultant can complete the assigned task in a timely manner. Approach and methodology. The methodology proposed by the consultants shall be evaluated for its innovativeness and soundness. Quality management. The availability of a well-established quality management system may be taken into account for large and complex assignments, and staff proposed. Qualification and experience of the proposed staff of the consultant in the relevant field. Association of consultants. An association of consultants may take either the form of a joint venture or a subcontract, and such association may participate in procurement process with the permission of the procuring agency. Under a joint venture, all members, if awarded the contract, shall individually sign and be jointly and severally liable for the entire assignment, and such an association may be known as a consortium, association, or joint venture. Intellectual property rights. All documents, reports, designs, research work, and all deliverables, prepared by the consultant, shall become and remain the property of the procuring agency. Any restrictions on the future use of these documents and software by the consultant shall be specified in the conditions of the contract. Negotiations. The procuring agency may negotiate with the highest ranked bidder for consultancy regarding methodology, work plan, staffing, contract price and special conditions of the contract. In case of failure of negotiations, the procuring agency may invite the next ranked bidder. A committee of the procuring agency shall negotiate with the consultant, and negotiation by a single person, on behalf of the procuring agency, shall not be allowed. Professional liability of consultant. The consultant selected and awarded a contract shall be liable for consequence of errors or omissions on the part of the consultant. The extent of liability of the consultant shall form part of the contract, and such liability shall not be less than remunerations, nor it shall be more than twice the remunerations. The procuring agency may demand insurance on part of the consultant, to cover the liability of the consultant, and necessary costs shall be borne by the consultant. The consultant shall be held liable, for all losses or damages suffered by the procuring agency, on account of any misconduct by the consultant in performing the consulting services. Acceptance of bids. Subject to these rules, the bidder with the lowest evaluated bid, if not in conflict with any other law, shall be awarded the procurement contract, within the original or extended bid validity period. Single complying proposal. If one complying bid is received, the procuring agency may award the contract to the bidder. Performance guarantee. Where needed and clearly expressed in the bidding documents, the procuring agency shall require the successful bidder to furnish a performance guarantee, which shall not exceed 10% of the contract amount. Limitation on negotiations. Save as otherwise provided in these rules, a procuring agency shall not negotiate with any of the bidders. In case of goods of highly technical nature, the procuring agency shall ensure that the bidders submit the revised financial bids immediately, after opening of the financial bids, in the same manner as the earlier financial bids were submitted, and the procuring agency shall not allow extra time for submission of revised financial bids by the bidders. In this rule, the expression goods of highly technical nature means all goods including machinery, its parts and micro-components, industrial, scientific or electronic equipment, plant and tools which are sophisticated in nature costing more than 50 million rupees, and procured by adopting the 2 stages 2 envelope procurement procedures. Confidentiality. The procuring agency shall keep all information regarding the bid evaluation confidential until the time of the announcement of the evaluation report. It is important to inform that in PPRA Rules Part 5, the final part of the rules, we will discuss about alternative methods of procurements, maintenance of record and freedom of information, redressal of grievances and settlement of disputes, blacklisting mechanism or process. Stay in touch with us and keep on watching our videos in the best of your knowledge. Thanks and goodbye.